Welcome back. You're watching live from Paris on France 24. It's time to find out what the French journalists have got themselves in a tizzy about today. James Creedon is here with Media Watch France. How are you, James?
Very well, thanks, Laura.
Good to have you as always. Now, if you want to get into politics, it's probably best not to compare the former president of the French Republic to taking Class A drugs.
That's right.
Just a guess.
Now, yesterday we were actually talking about how an American TV channel strapped him as a prostitute. On the bottom of the screen, they said "prostitute speaks," and it was totally incorrect.
Error,
it was just totally wrong. And today they're saying that being around him is like taking a line of cocaine. I mean, so I'm sure Nicolas Sarkozy is kind of saying, right, what's gone on with the news these days? Just because I'm leaving office doesn't mean you can say anything about me. Anyway, let's take a listen to what the head of, I suppose, the equivalent of the Young Conservatives said. He's a guy by the name of Benjamin Loncard. He was speaking to France Culture Radio. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Je peux vous dire que les quelques fois où j'ai eu la chance d'être reçu dans son bureau, c'est quand même à un moment donné où sincèrement vous en sortez, vous n'êtes pas loin d'avoir pris un rail de coke. C'est-à-dire que globalement vous êtes avec une surmotivation parce que c'est...
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not far from having taken, snorted a line of cocaine. You know, going in to meet Nicola is just so exciting, so invigorating that you come out as if you've taken illegal drugs. Now, very quickly...
Somebody's going to get called a little slanderer here, aren't they?
That's right, or get kicked out of the UMP Youth. Let's take a look at what he said on his Twitter page. He said, formule maladroite, you can say that again, awkward formulation, I'm against legalising drugs, and I just wanted to underline how Nicolas Sarkozy, really motivates you. Now, do you remember this photo? It was actually a little bit viral some time ago. Cocaine, so much cocaine. Now, you might be wondering, what is the link? Well... That's the link, because his face has now been put over.
He asked for that, really, didn't he?
He did ask for it, really, yeah. So anyway, that's not a very
Benjamin Loncard.
Not a very smart move by
Just
Benjamin
say no.
Loncard.
That's what I have to say to him. All
That's
right, now it isn't the first time Nicolas Sarkozy has been compared to stimulants, is it?
That's right. And do you want to know who did it the last time? It was Carla Bruni.
His wife.
Because she released a song while she was First Lady. This isn't even going back to before she knew Nicolas Sarkozy, where she said that the title of the song is, I think it's Tu es ma cam, you are my drug. Let's take a listen to a little extract of Tu es ma cam.
Tu es ma cam, plus mortelle que l'héroïne afghane.
She wrote this after
Yeah, when she was with him.
Que la blanche colombienne. Tu es ma solution.
Oh dear.
She was criticised for that back when it was released.
This
First
is when
Lady.
he was president.
He was already president. She was already First Lady. And she was writing a love song. And who is her lover? Only Nicolas Sarkozy. About him being her drug. He's being more dangerous than Colombian cocaine. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so there you go. Nicolas Sarkozy frequently compared to Class A drugs.
Leave the drug comparisons aside, people. All right, now, a lot of people, of course, we saw today a lot of people quite upset because Nicolas Sarkozy has had his last day of business. He held his last cabinet meeting, and of course, all the cabinet ministers were there, a few tears, a few tearful goodbyes. Particularly upset is Nadine Morano. She was a real fan of Sarkozy.
She was. Now, if we saw Benjamin Loncard, he's definitely a fan. And Nadine Morano, she's a fan too and has been right throughout his 5 years in office. Do you know what she did today? She asked for his autograph. Oh, now let's take a look. I think we have pictures of her showing.
She's not expecting to see him in person again then, perhaps.
Let's roll the pictures of that autograph because she said she's going to hold on to that for her children, for her grandchildren. She asked him to sign that little piece of paper, and there you go. She's clearly very, very moved at this last ministerial meeting with Nicolas Sarkozy. And what the media have been doing, actually, this is France Télévisions, they've been going back over 5 years of I suppose, what would
I love these
of
things.
bourde, as they call it in French. What's the word?
Bourde.
Sort of lapse, Freudian slips.
Gaffes,
That's the word. Couldn't think of it. She's a bit gaff prone. So some of them were, for example,
she's the one whose security convoy ran over a pedestrian.
That's not even a gaff. It's just like an accident,
a crime.
And she's definitely a bit gaff prone. For example, when she was on this quiz, on this interview show, and they were asking her about a crisis in the car company Renault, and she thought they were talking about the singer Renault, same name. But in any case, she tends to do that time and time again.
Easy mistake to make.
It is an easy mistake to make, and I think there's a tweet that she was considerably mocked for as well. I type more quickly with my I type very quickly with my finger, more quickly with my fingers than I can correct with my thoughts, because people said that online she tweeted a little bit excessively and that sometimes her tweets didn't make much sense. So anyway, look, it's been
unfair. My
unfair.
fingers are faster than my brain.
That's it. That's it. Nicely summed up. And so right down to the very last Council of Ministers meeting, she is getting a dig in the media for being a little bit silly and over-enthusiastic.
Now, someone who is said to be very media savvy, we won't be expecting any gaffes from her, not in the near future anyway, is the new French First Lady, Valérie Trierweiler, the first unmarried First Lady living in the Elysée. She's been asking for her fellow journalists to take a hike, hasn't she?
Leave me alone. So she tweeted in the last 24 hours saying, "Mes concerts, my colleagues, please respect our privacy, our life and our neighbours. Don't camp outside our home. Thank you for understanding." Valerie, you might have to get used to being a little bit exposed to the media, I would say. Now, do you know what Arrêt sur Image and another website have done? They've done a mock-up of all the front pages that we're going to see of Valerie Trierweiler in the next few weeks. These aren't all real, right? So L'Express, Valerie Trierweiler, The Secrets, Valerie Trierweiler on Elle. So they're looking ahead to what they expect Valerie Trierweiler normal, question mark, because of course François Hollande's slogan was a normal presidency.
Yeah.
Now, this one is actually real. They're pointing out that Closer have already headlined saying it's war with Ségolène Royal.
Oh.
So there you
Ségolène,
go.
of course, being François Hollande's former partner.
And former presidential candidate.
The claws are out.
The claws are out, and Valerie is going to be very exposed, whether she likes it or not, to media scrutiny.
And I'm sure with you more than any. All right, James Cruden, many thanks indeed.
Sarah.
That's it for Media Watch. Well, let's find out now what else is making waves on the net. And one French politician having a hard time dealing with reality. He disputes the legitimacy of François Hollande's election. Find out more now. It's Web News.